Rashad, the CEO of ESGNet, got a little throwdown. He's going to be representing RG3's Washington Redskins, and I'm going to be playing as my favorite football player right now, Russell Wilson, and the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, we're playing Madden 13, and we're playing, like Steve said, he's playing as Seattle Seahawks, and I'm playing as RG3 and the Redskins of Washington. And if you guys see our first video of
There's the man.
of the baseball, now we're going to talk a little bit about the off-season free agency of the NFL. For the most part, Steve will probably be talking a lot more about that because he's followed that a lot more than I have. But I'm going to chime in here so often. So let's, what do you want to get into first, Steve?
I'll tell you what, you look at the big players in free agency this year, it comes down to 5 major teams: Miami Dolphins, the Chiefs, Broncos, Seahawks, and Niners. It's been like a Cold War. It's been like an arms race. Free agency, usually you get a couple of big-name players. This year has been crazy.
Yeah.
It's been so crazy, I can't believe, like, okay, we got this, and we still have a draft after this. So, yeah, we'll go through all the teams here, but, yeah, I mean, why am I not playing as the Chiefs? The Chiefs, they're my favorite team, but this is my NFC team right here, the Seahawks. I've liked Russell Wilson ever since he's in college, and just, that's my favorite player.
Oh, man, I thought I was going to break all the way on that one.
Yeah, Brandon Banks there, played for K-State.
Yep.
Undrafted free agent, making an impact for the Redskins. But yeah, start with the Miami Dolphins. This is the team, finished 7-9 last year. They got their quarterback. They got their guy, Ryan Tannehill. And last year, they figured out what happens when you don't give your quarterback weapons. They just couldn't push that extra step. And they have a behemoth that catches in that division, too, the New England Patriots. So they really armed their receiving core to the...
I just snapped that damn ball now. Come on, seriously. Whatever, ref.
Yeah. And so, yeah, they've armed their receiving core. They picked up Mike Wallace. Huge contract, but I mean, hey, sometimes you got to pay that money out.
Yeah.
And also picked up Gibson there. He used to play for the Rams. So they've really helped their situation out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, as I was saying, you know, I don't follow the Dolphins, but the Dolphins they didn't re-sign their halfback there I can't think of his name.
Reggie Bush.
Yeah, Bush.
Reggie Kardashian.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tell you what, he was good in spots last year, but he didn't even finish with 1,000 yards.
Oh.
And they got Lamar Miller. They drafted out of Miami the year before, and also Daniel Thomas out of K-State going to be fighting for that starting role.
Yep.
And with the passing game being more efficient, they should open things up for them.
Oh yeah.
It should be fun on that front. Oh, another big free agent acquisition they had was Ellerby from the championship Baltimore Ravens defense.
Oh yeah.
Or I'd like to call them the Baltimore Marlins because they pretty much gave away the whole team there after last year.
Yeah. And well, I was just saying, I don't know if you want to get into the Ravens, but to me, the Ravens are going to be a team that's going to do a lot of rebuilding there. You know, just got Ray gone now. Joe got that new contract and whatnot, so I don't think. I think Baltimore's happy they got a ring now, but you know, still got. I mean, Joe Flacco still got some years to go to play. He still do something, but it's gonna be a long time before Baltimore sees another championship there.
Move on now to the Seahawks free agency. What you seen right there, Leon Washington getting a fair catch. They're going to see that this year. They parted ways with him, and they brought in Percy Harvin, the Vikings. Got him in a trade there, and he's really just the guy that Russell Wilson needs just to get his team to the next level. And by next level, pretty much the Super Bowl, because they did everything else last year. Really good 11-5 season. Fell short against the Falcons. Man, wasn't that a slobber knocker in the playoffs?
Oh yeah, I've become a now Falcons fan just because of Natty Ice, Natty Ice, and of course Steve probably will get upset with me, but Tony Gonzalez, whatnot, former Chief player there. But no, just because of that. not just because of that. I mean, there's the episodes that, well, by now, hopefully they're up by now, of Teddy Bonds and him coaching that team. And there goes Tate. This time it'll actually be a touchdown.
Oh.
And Hall, unable to stop him getting into the end zone there. That time it was an actual touchdown, wasn't it?
Yeah, we're playing to the Packers game, the questionable call at the very end.
Oh, don't even get me started on that. That was...
Yeah, that made my night. It was like, wow, Russell Wilson, 2-minute drill, successful against the Packers.
Yeah, but it was shoddy refs like that. I'll call freaking football game, but...
Dang, replacement refs. I mean, it was just last year, but it seemed like so long ago.
Yeah.
Alright, so now we're going to go into the Seahawks defense. Like, they're in an arms race with the Niners. Colin Kaepernick took over that team last year and has made just a whole new dimension for that offense. I mean, look what he did to the Packers there in the playoffs, over 200 yards rushing. So they need some guys to just chase him over the field, and they got that. And brought in Cliff Averill, had 9.5 sacks last year, good pass rusher. Also, Michael Bennett. Michael Bennett, who can play inside and outside, so they're really arming themselves up to just really be able to continue with Kaepernick and the Niners.
I have no idea what this playbook is. This is going to be fun. Yeah, it's a... okay, who was you talking about anyway?
Seahawks.
Seahawks, okay, yeah. There's Lynch right there, Marshall. Yeah.
I wanted Russell Wilson so bad for the Chiefs because they picked right before Seattle in the 3rd round, and when we got through our pick, I was like, "Oh my gosh, we're gonna get him!" I was so happy there for a second.
Yeah.
We go out there like, Chiefs select Donald Stevenson. Are you kidding me? Then the Seahawks go out there right next pick. Russell Wilson. Well, you guys are set.
Yeah.
I got to go out to Arrowhead for that game. It was Russell Wilson's first preseason start, and he won the job after that start.
Yeah.
He went out there and just clobbered that Chiefs defense, who would look pretty good on the previous home preseason game against the Cardinals there. And they just look like a totally different team out there against Seahawks there. You know, I went downhill after that.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, let's try to stay within the division. Let's talk about the 49ers and what they've done in the offseason. Now they don't have the quarterback they thought that was going to be their future quarterback. He's now in Kansas City now. We're talking about Alex Smith. He's with Kansas City now, but now 49ers are sticking with, I guess, now with Kaepernick now. So
there's a guy that has a chance to be one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time with his versatility, his huge arm. There's not a throw or a run he can't make.
yeah.
But yeah, free agent wise, help the team out. They lost to Sean Goldson in free agency. That was their biggest loss. But they brought in Craig Dahl, who had quite a tenure with the Rams. So that'll help them out big time in the secondary. And they're still in the Revis rumors. If they were to pull off a trade for Darrelle Revis, just lights out.
Yeah.
Because right now they're sitting at 14, 15 draft picks right now.
Yeah. Yeah, they're sitting on quite a few. A gold mine right there. So, and with those draft, seriously, with those draft picks, they can do some damage on that. Then all the draft is coming up here. Just a couple weeks now. So, all right. Well, we'll talk about. We got to talk about 49ers, Seahawks. I'm trying to think who else. Rams.
Rams, they're still a mess. They lost Steven Jackson, and they really up to Isaiah P. to lead that running attack. And they're not really doing Sam Bradford any favors. He's a guy that really hasn't proven himself since he came in the league. He was the last quarterback to get the $50 million rookie contract.
Yeah.
So he's got a lot to live up there. They did bring in Jared Cook, who was Titans corner, who could actually also function as a receiver. So him and Kendricks got a good 1-2 punch there at tight end, but receiving core is terrible. They lost Danny Amendola, Mr. Dependable, who went on to replace Welker. That's some big shoes to fill there in New England.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would say that to me was a shock right there. Walker right there getting released. And now he's going from one good quarterback to another good quarterback there in Denver with Peyton Manning and crew. So.
Oh, the Broncos, yeah. Get into that Chiefs-Broncos Cold War. It's just been... Yeah, the Rams have been pretty quiet for agency, but they're going to have to make a splash in the draft in order to even contend this year. Because, I mean, hey, the Seahawks, 49ers, amped up their teams, and they're just falling behind every day. Fred Davis.
Great job of the offensive line that time.
All right. I'm trying to remember who's us in the division. Help me out here. I'm trying to think.
For who?
For the West, the AFC West.
Oh, yeah, the Arizona Cardinals as well. Bruce Arians, new coach. That's always helps. That's always the first step.
Yeah.
He was last year's coach of the year as an offensive coordinator. He has stepped in for Chuck Strong.
There, too.
Yeah, especially what he did with stepping in for Chuck Strong.
There,
with
too.
the Colts there last season. They really did put together a good team, especially with a young quarterback, just like everything coming up blank to me today. Their young team and whatnot, compared to what they were last year. I mean, last year they were, the worst team in the league, and now they're one of the top. Got in the playoffs last year, or this past year. So Luck, Andrew Luck and the team there doing quite well last year. Hopefully they can make a splash and add on to. Anytime you have a team like that, you want to keep adding on to find other pieces of the puzzle, as they say in the business, to keep that team going strong and whatnot.
And to touch on the rest of the Niners' operation in the free agency, their biggest splash was they traded a 6th-round pick to Baltimore to get Anquan Bolton. Just what a steal.
Yeah. And no, we're not related.
Oh, yeah, cousin Anquan. And another pick up, another performer for the Chiefs, Glenn Dorsey. They're going to add him to their defensive front. And I think that's going to be a good move for San Francisco. They can utilize him in a lot of different ways. Because we had to stick him at D tackle or D end there at 3-4 and just hope he could do it. San Francisco gave us some options.
Oh, 103 just got leveled right there.
Of course, Shanahan's looking the other way like I didn't see him get hurt.
Yeah.
Keep playing. Still my favorite quote from Twitter about the incident last year against the Seahawks in the playoffs. It said, even Mike Shanahan's tanning bed thinks RG3 stayed in there too long. But no, Alfred Morris, though, what a sad story. 1,600 yards and does not make the Pro Bowl. What a catastrophe.
Yeah. More and more, year after year, I think the Pro Bowl is becoming a joke. It's not as prestige as it used to be. I mean, a lot of fans want to see their favorite players play. And I can understand the guy, if there's guys on the teams that are going to the Super Bowl, not playing and whatnot, which, it's completely understandable. But there's some guys that, that are not going to go to the playoffs that made the team, and I understand why they just don't go. So,
they're down by more than 7, but the defense,
maybe,
you stop them.
to me, I think the Pro Bowl overall is just a joke. They need to put something on there, something to kind of keep it alive, because I think here in the next couple of years, it's going to be, the last couple of years it's just been dead.
Last year was actually pretty exciting.
Well, yeah, the exception of last year.
Yeah. Goodell laid down the law. He said, guys, this is a privilege. If you guys ain't going to perform in this game, then we ain't going to have it anymore. And the players, for the first half, put up a really legitimate effort. Second half, they kind of tapered off a bit, but just as expected with any exhibition game. But the first half, they played pretty hard, and I was happy with what I saw. Especially I was happy with Russell Wilson throwing 3 touchdowns there in the second half. But yeah. Okay, so now we're gonna.
Ryan Orakpo.
Yeah.
Orakpo means sack.
You
I love that.
You spelled Neanderthal?
I love that commercial.
Now for the moment we all been waiting for. Chiefs free agency.
Yeah.
Wow. Talk about a team making a splash. First big move. Well, Andy Reid. And then John Dorsey, the director of player development there with the Packers coming in. The guy that drafted Aaron Rodgers back in the day.
Nice.
Oh,
Might you get a touchdown?
Oh.
Yes, nice touchdown.
Rashad's on the board
Finally,
with a touchdown there.
Oh,
I
yeah,
guess got a field goal.
Yeah.
So the first thing Andy Reid needs, he needs a quarterback. So he was negotiating with his old team about trying to acquire Nick Foles, but they just wouldn't have that. They wanted to keep Nick Foles around, so went to his number 2 guy, Alex Smith, in San Francisco. Traded him a second-round pick for him, and also a future pick, a conditional pick, depending on how well Alex Smith plays, to be a third or second rounder coming out of the following season. And that was the start of it.
Yeah. And well, yeah, I mean, the whole Andy Reid thing, that just really got me right there. I was thinking, like, wow, I did not see that coming at all. Not one bit. At all. But yeah, I mean, Reid now coming to Kansas City. I'm not going to say not much pressure. He will still have pressure from the media. Because, after the whole fiasco with the quarterback last year, he's still going to have issues. He's still going to have issues with the media and sports writers and stuff like that, fans and whatnot. But not as bad as Philadelphia. Philadelphia, they pretty much ate him alive, professionally and personally, because a couple years ago his son was in trouble with the law, with drugs and whatnot.
Yeah,
So
really sad situation there. But I mean, that Philadelphia media, they're probably going to drive down to Kansas City just to harass him some more. They're ruthless. The fans too. But yes, Alex Smith led off the way for the Chiefs some offseason there. But now to move into the free agency moves. The biggest one to me is Sean Smith, the 6'3" corner. It's kind of like their version of Sherman or Browner, those giant Seattle corners.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Smith ain't been the most consistent guy, but last year he held down, he shut down A.J. Green. That's like impossible to do. So he can contend with some of the major receivers in the league. He just needs to be consistent each game in and out. And also picked up Dunta Robinson, old Falcon. He can come in and play nickel. He could beat Arenas out for that job easily. And we got us a solid number 2 tight end, Anthony Fasano. He was a great run blocker, nice pair of hands, and a red zone threat for the Dolphins last year. So really happy with those moves.
At least some of the articles I've been reading about the Chiefs this year, by the sound of it, they're doing pretty well. It's just now they get the number 1 overall pick for the draft. Hopefully, they won't squander that and use it for something that they don't really need.
I tell you what, I think we're locked now into a pick, and that's going to be Joe Colato, Texas A&M. He's going to come in right at right tackle and play that position until left tackle comes open. He's going to be an automatic stud. Because we let Winston go, which I think was a message like, you're either with this team or you're against us. Winston was a bad character, talking about the fans. You don't talk bad about the Chiefs fans. That's one of the best fans in sports out there.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've never been to Chiefs games, but I've heard stories, and I see it on TV. They are one of the most passionate fan base in the NFL. And when you talk about one of their players, you talk about them, the fans. It is a packed house. Every Sunday, when they have games, home games on Sundays, it is a packed house, and they are pretty brutal.
It used to be a packed house. Here, the last several years, it's been really sad with that stadium. I mean, the bottom level, always full.
Yeah.
But you get up there in the top section, so you can finally see the seats. It's been a long time since 2004. Oof. There's a couple other guys we brought in. Chase Daniel, great pickup.
Yeah,
I
so-
love that move. And this is a Nebraska fan talking about Missouri guy right here. I love the move. Chase Daniel is a guy that's never done wrong in his career. He was your storybook Texas high school quarterback that won all the time. Goes on to college. Stellar career at Mizzou. Couldn't beat OU. I mean, that's a tough team back then.
Yeah.
But he shredded our defense to pieces. We couldn't even get a handle on that guy. And then goes to the Saints. Wins the ring behind Drew Brees. So he's learning from the best in Drew Brees, and also learning how to run a Sean Payton offense, really quarterback-driven offense. Andy Reid's a quarterback-driven guy. So this is the guy that's he deserves a chance.
Oh, fumble.
Yeah, Chase Daniel's got to deserve the chance. I think Alex Smith, he's in kind of a Matt Flynn position.
Yeah.
They say he's a starter, but hey, if he coughs up a little bit, I think Chase Daniel deserves a shot.
Yeah.
That's a solid number 2
Well,
guy.
yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, especially with this team, I mean, anyone, quarterback position can play right now. Because, I mean, no one's, they have, when you go out there to play, you got to prove it. You got to prove that you can hold on to a spot and can keep that spot for yourself. But with anything, any sport, you got to have competition. And Chase Daniels is the type of person who will definitely push Alex to play his best to keep that spot and not be a backup like he was this past season there in San Francisco. So
Another detail, Donnie Avery had a good season with the Colts last year. He had a rough start to his NFL career with the Rams.
yeah,
He got injury problems and he really couldn't develop anything there. Colts took a chance on him, had a really stellar year there. Now he's going to come in and fight. I think he's going to fight Jonathan Baldwin for that number 2 spot, which should be a pretty easy win. Jonathan Baldwin's just terrible. But he'll be an Andy Reid project. All right, Hauschka, what you got here?
oh, we got it.
In your Hauschka. And last free agent move we made was Jeff Schwartz, an old Viking, originally picked up by the Panthers in the late rounds. 6'6", 340 pounds. He's going to be a guard, kind of a run blocker project there. Chiefs just have the worst injuries, worst luck with O-line injuries.
Yeah.
Kind of like concerned, like if we draft this guy, can he play this position, whatever. I mean, look at the Chiefs O-line. Everybody pretty much plays every position except for Brandon Albert. He's stuck at left tackle there, but our guards get switched around to right tackle, to center. Like Donald Stevenson played 3 positions last year, his rookie year. It's hard to say, hard to judge talent when they get moved around so much. That's the Chiefs free agency story. I'm gonna go take those toys out.
It's
Huh?
mine. No!
Go in there and be quiet.
And that
All right,
person right
yeah,
there
we're-
screaming was my nephew.
Yeah, we're laying down the law here. And that's the good stories of free agent. Now we got to move on to the bad parts, the Denver Broncos. This team's already good, and they go get Wes Welker. So now Peyton Manning has Demaryius Thomas on the outside. He has 2 Mr. Dependable receivers in Eric Decker and Wes Welker.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, Peyton Manning now definitely has some weapons for next season, and surprise, surprise, everyone was like, most people in the media were like, oh, Peyton won't be the same, he won't, he's still gonna think about his neck injury. Yeah,
Those days are behind us.
yeah,
He's like, I'm Peyton effing Manning. I'm back. Deal with it.
yeah,
Buy a Buick.
yeah. And get some Papa John's while you at it.
Yeah.
I mean, they obviously knew something that the Broncos knew that he was well and didn't want to share, which that's a good job to keep all the other teams wondering and thinking, oh we got this. This is an easy win. But yeah, I mean, I was really impressed with Manning. Kind of upset with myself I didn't pick him up in fantasy, but yeah, I mean, they do have a team. Like you said, they got two go-to guys, Walker and Decker. So they're definitely set for next season.
They got their defense amped up too. They brought in Dominic Rogers-Cromartie.
He takes a short pass and turns it into a long gain. He has the move to get it done. And
So that's a good move for them to help out their aging secondary.
Yeah.
This play set up by the long gainer.
First time we've done anything like this, I'm trying to beat Rashad and then talk up a mean game about free agency at the same time here. It's a little something new.
Yeah.
Something you have to really try to get a feel for here.
Well, in the business, in the short time I've been doing sports commentary videos, these live commentaries are pretty tough because you're trying to talk and trying to play the game at the same time, and it doesn't really help when you have a distraction like my nephew in the background going at it and whatnot. He almost kicked off my field there.
Because if you lose the game, I mean, does your commentary, is it legitimate after that? At the end of this game, our listener's gonna look at this and be like, wait, he lost. I mean, why should I listen to anything that he said?
I think in a past video I said I was not really good at it. Too many, especially football games. So yeah, I'm not. I never say I'm an expert at video games or I'm a badass at them, but.
Well, hey, you're rocking on your Husker season there and your wrestling shows there.
Oh yeah.
You're rocking those matches there. Well, except for your demo video, the first one, you lost all those games. I'm like, should this channel be called Rashad Loses?
You never know. I might start a series like that.
It's like Charles Barkley's talking about Shaq's show, Shaq versus. Should this be called Shaq Loses? You never win. Because, Barkley went on there and beat Shaq in golf, and Barkley's known for his golf swing.
The Seahawks are set to return to the kickoff.
Let's go. Who do you want to talk about next in free agency?
The Lions. This is the team who went 4-12 last year, and despite Megatron setting the single season record for reception yards, breaking the great Jerry Rice's record.
Yeah.
You don't hear about a Jerry Rice record being broken too often. And if he does break his record, he's like, well, I got 25 more, so
yeah.
Get to catching, guys. Get to catching. They picked up Reggie Bush. They needed a versatile back to give a little dimension that offense because Javid Best, too many concussions. His career's over.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael LaShore is more your pounder kind of back.
It's first down as they head to the line.
That's a good move for them there.
Their
draft outlook, they better start with the Deans, the pass rushers. Van and Bosch is gone, and then they lost Averill in free agency. And Dominican Sue is not going to be able to do everything.
Yeah.
Only a yard, so it's second down and 9. Makes the catch in the open field.
Good job by the receiver that time, getting that extra couple yards, gets a
Oh,
first down.
yes, nice.
Fiction.
Let's see.
That was a nice one. I will take that.
Oh, you know what? I have not used Bruce Irvin yet. That was their the Seahawks first round draft pick last year.
The ball is jarred loose.
Some people call it a reach, but that was Pete Carroll being ahead of the time. It's like pass rushers are very important, no matter
Protect the football, no excuse.
no matter what.
Fumbling a football in a situation like that.
I'm sure a lot of you guys are probably wondering why I haven't really been running with RG3. And that's why, because I'm not good at it.
That's going to be a charge to the offense.
I say this ain't the days of Madden 2004 and Michael Vick when you just run over the place. These AI defenses contain a lot better nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
And then if you do get a run with them like I had with Russell Wilson there, they fumble.
Quarterback is taken down.
When you get
Oh,
It
Cam.
just comes down to quarterback. You hate to put all the pressure on him, but you have to know it. In this league, the rules, you can throw it away. So
Yeah, it's pretty interesting season right now. I mean, like the Jets, they just signed David Garrard, who missed all last year. So there's your quarterback battle there. Him, Mark Sanchez, a.k.a. Butt Fumble. Tebow, if they keep him around. And
I don't see that happening.
More time than that. Another incompletion.
Yeah, I don't know. Jets, that right there, I don't know. I mean, I hope they only need to be covered. I mean, because they got too many issues going on. Coaching wise, and player wise, and everything. They need to, kind of get their own household fixed and whatnot. And, poor, those fans were looking forward to, going to another playoff appearance like that. I don't see that happening here in the next couple of years. It's gonna be a while before Jets fans can get excited about going to the playoffs again. So.
I mean, you rest your franchise on a guy like Mark Sanchez, who I didn't even think was any good in college. I don't understand what they was looking at.
And that was and that issue. I was never a fan. I'm not gonna lie. In the video games, he was badass. I mean, anybody in the video
Oh, he
game,
played for USC.
Yeah.
Matt Castle played for USC.
Yeah. But I mean, in reality, that one season that he played, as a starter, that was one season.
I mean, he had back-to-back AFC Championship apperanries, but
Yeah.
that was his defense and run support.
Yeah.
That
And
really
that's the
has
thing
that.
they've been lacking. A lot of people, everybody was saying that.
Yeah, I mean, we gave Matt Castle a stiff defense and good run support for 1 year, and look what he did. Just sometimes you can just take other quarterbacks and make them look good.
Yeah. But the Jets. That's with all that stuff going on, and the quarterback controversy and seeing better. It's
Mommy.
quite difficult sometimes going through all that. Oh, nice catch.
What is that, Roger?
That's a fullback right there.
Yeah.
My fullback's my deep threat. Michael Robinson, the former 49er.
Oh yeah.
Hi, Steve.
Hey, how you been?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing all right.
The other voice you're hearing in the background there is my sister. Yeah, you're on YouTube now.
Morning.
Is it cold enough out there?
Huh?
Is it cold enough out there?
Oh, yeah. Shut the door, Roger.
First down, following the long ball.
See, ESGNet Studios is a really family-friendly environment.
Yeah, normally I'd wait until there ain't nobody around so I can do recordings. So, or I go to my other. Ooh. Oh, I thought yeah, right there.
His name is Russell. Last name Wilson. Still up in prime time. Is that Charlie Wilson song?
Yeah.
Beast mode.
Yeah, beast mode right there. Somebody better give him some skills.
Taste the rainbow. Yeah, his old team of the Buffalo Bills, I mean, what a mess they're in.
Oh,
They
yeah.
signed Fitzpatrick to a big contract.
Yeah, I
then
was
they
gonna
cut
say.
him with really nobody left to be quarterback there.
My mom was here, poop head.
So now they have DeForest Jackson as their number one quarterback right now. They certainly will draft the guy.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to say. I was going to move on to the Bills. They, got rid of Fitzpatrick, and now, where are they going to go to? I mean, who are they going to pick up as a quarterback?
Free agent wise, there's really not much left for them to do. They're probably going to draft somebody, and the name from them. I mean, Gino's going to be there in the first round. I'm going to take a chance on, or they got the Syracuse coach as their guy now, and he coached up Ryan Nassib from Syracuse all those years. So it's a guy he's really familiar with. So if he thinks that guy can really develop an NFL quarterback, I mean, hey, it's like home right there for him. Syracuse, New York, Buffalo, New York, same coach, be a similar system. There's also going to be Mike Glennon's possibility. Any of those quarterbacks. It's tough to say who's really going to be the stud in that draft. Definitely opposite of last year's.
Yeah, as I'm saying, this year seems like it's just, I don't know, there's not too much hoopla or excitement about a lot of guys. No one really stands out, at least in my eyes this year. Like you said, last year, so many other guys that did so well. There's just no one that really breaks it, that head of the pack or anything this year.
He's setting up. He's been sacked 4 times already. What a beating it has been for the quarterback. Takes the snap from the shotgun.
Oh, yeah. Get too much into this game, I get kind of caught up and lose my train of thought. But the Broncos, Elway's Dumerville story, that is crazy. So, Elway basically tells Dumerville, you can't make $12 million this year and be on this team. That's not that's not a fair amount. So, they're saying you have to renegotiate your salary for this year. We're going to let you go.
No.
So they negotiate his salary down to $8 million. They agree on it. But the agent does not file the paperwork in time, and so he gets automatically cut the night the Caps do.
Oh.
Read more of the story though, like he rejected the offer at 1 a.m. and then at like 1:15 decided, okay, we can do the offer, and the paperwork didn't get through on time. So it's Dumerville's fault overall. It's the agent's fault. Just can't put that on Elway of the Broncos. They do what they had to do. Here's the next step for the Broncos. That there's some pass rushers on the market, and they're going to pick one and bring him in. Peyton's going to be after his old teammate Free, for sure.
Yeah.
And Dumerville, maybe resigning him at a discount. James Harrison's out there if they want to really change the pace. They want to put Alex Smith out for the season.
Second down coming up.
And I'm sure he would be wanting to do that.
But now I look for, if they don't re-sign Dumerville, then they're probably going to push for Freeney, try to get him at a discount to the cap room.
Yeah. Well, as I say, I was going to move on to another team about the Saints. As you know, last year, the whole Dowdy thing. Now their head coach is now can talk to his team. He can practice with them. Come up with new plays. Not much has been said, about him in the off season and whatnot. Have you heard anything about what the Saints are going to be doing in the off season?
The Saints are pretty quiet.
Oh,
Nope,
sure.
that didn't work. They're definitely need to look into getting a backup quarterback because they just lost Chase Daniel. But that team's going to remind me, I think it's going to be reminiscent of the 2008 Patriots team. Not because I don't think they're going to go undefeated, but they're going to be angry at the league because when they had Spygate, Patriots kind of stuck it to the league by running up the score in every single game, putting up these beyond Madden numbers. And I think you're going to see it from the Saints this year. They're an angry team. We're at full strength now. Let's take it to everybody.
Yeah. And I was gonna say, I feel like there will be some kind of vengeance with that team. They will go out and start, going after quarterback. But, hopefully not in the way they got in trouble the first time, but in a way that they're you guys were making fun of us. We have a disappointing year. Now we're gonna take it out on you guys.
I mean, they have an intense division to deal with. You got Falcons, and the Buccaneers are kind of reloading.
Yeah.
I think they're still a work in progress. And then the Panthers, Cam Newton's always dangerous. plus the Falcons will probably land Steven Jackson here before long. They let Michael Turner go, so you're gonna have Steven Jackson and Jaquez Rogers in that backfield, and that's dangerous. And I'd say their biggest free agent acquisition is Tony Gonzalez. They talked him into coming back.
Yeah.
There was a guy last year that's been saying over a year he's gonna retire.
Yeah.
I figured he's gonna stick to that until after training camp, but he's probably just gonna negotiate like, hey, can I sit out training camp, please?
Yeah, and I was reading something about that just the other day about him possibly trying to get that worked out where he can miss training camp, and hopefully he'll still be in shape. You know, I mean he's the type of person he will, but you never know. But yeah, I mean, quite honestly, I had a feeling that the way they didn't go this year, I had a feeling that he's going to stick it out for try to go for another year. Press the wrong button again.
Now, see, Taylor used to say that, push the wrong button, but his would be a touchdown.
Yeah, I'm not Taylor.
But now the thing that worries about the Falcons, though, is their defense. They lost depth at corner. They're going to have Samuel and McLeod starting, but they lost Grimes and Robinson. And plus, they also lost John Abraham, their best pass rusher. So they have to get a decent nickel in there, and plus find a way to rush the pass without Abraham, or that they're going to get eaten alive in that division. Or well, every game's going to be a firefight.
Yeah.
They're going to be playing some serious arena football.
And losing those yards and putting your team in a tough position.
Oh yeah, most definitely, yeah.
Look at the Panthers. They've been quiet for agency, and the reason is they're cash strapped. They are a very poorly managed team, front office wise. They have 2 running backs signed to big contracts, and they just don't want to get rid of either one of them for some reason. I don't get it.
Yeah.
But when you got a guy like Cam Newton, any given Sunday,
Yeah, pretty much.
Play number 6 coming up on this drive.
Well, it seemed too like this past year too that a lot of teams have finally figured out how to wrap him up and stop him from running, going down the field, and making him actually throw the ball.
Like an upper body injury, Jim. I think we both can tell that. And
Yeah.
now the question is, how bad is it?
We haven't. Well, I haven't heard anything. I don't know about you, but America's team. Why they call them that? They ain't my team. I live in America, but they ain't my team.
Dallas Cowboys, their big project is to get Romo on a long-term deal.
It looks like he will be getting back in
Other than that,
And that's okay. My question is why?
Romo is just like, if he played for any other team, he'd be a great quarterback. But because he's the Cowboys quarterback, he's never good enough. I mean, he has great numbers all year.
Yeah.
And in the playoffs, like, he hasn't had a lot of playoff opportunities to really show what he can do. I think he's a guy that Russell Wilson, seriously.
Well, he still got it. But yeah, I mean, I know what you're saying. I mean, yeah, he does put up some good numbers, but you know, that team, one, they can't put it all on him. And two, he needs, you know, those big games, he does need to step up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, for the most part, I mean, it's you know, football's a team sport. Everyone has to contribute, and you know, they got to get him into the playoffs so he can prove to them what he can do.
And here's the thing about Romo is, like, if they were to not go with Romo, who would they go with? There's not a free agency. The free agent's going to be good enough. They don't have time to develop to develop a rookie. And the biggest problem with Romo is I don't know what the deal with Dallas is. They do not give their quarterbacks offensive lines. They have not had an offensive line since Jimmy Johnson ran the team.
Yeah. And for you know, football, to order a score, you got to move the line, you know, up the field. So you gotta start there. You gotta find some guys that can do up pass blocking. I mean, it also helps. I mean, they got a good receiving core. That's what just doesn't make. Oh, there he goes.
The French Raider, Pierre Gaston.
Touchdown.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Comeback?
Yes. I doubt it, but.
But the biggest one of the biggest free agent moves we haven't touched on. This is like almost as bad as Fargo and the Vikings. Greg Jennings becoming a Viking.
Yeah, that. Oh.
I mean, what's a bigger betrayal to your home team? Favre or Jennings?
Yeah, Jennings, yeah.
Oh.
I mean, what?
I guess it'd be worse if he was a Bear, but just a little worse. But,
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't understand that. Like, did not. I'm surprised they didn't do the same thing like they did with Favre. Like, okay, you know.
But what, burn jerseys?
Well, yeah, that. But, no, like, you know, let him go. You know, he's a free agent. You know, you realize, you know, people in your own division is going to want him. So, you know, try to re-sign him. And if you don't want to re-sign him, but, you know, trade him off somewhere else, you know.
Right. That's going to be a great number one receiver for Matt Castle, though, up there.
Yeah, if you ever just throw to him.
Yeah, they picked up Matt Castle for a 1-year, $4 million deal. So, and Schefter reported right after that trade that he's going to compete for the starting job. I don't see that. Christian Ponder was the first-round pick, and they got to the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
Ponder's going to have to really, really stink or get hurt for Castle to see the field there.
I gotta say, Ponder would have to be like in a coma.
Pretty much.
For Castle to take over that, you know, take over the realms of that, you know, the reins of that team. Because I mean, he did. I mean, he played really well, and overall the Vikings played very well. So, shout out to Nadas fan if he's watching this. He's a big Vikings fan, so I'm sure he's happy about getting that receiver from the Packers. But yeah, I mean, that again, they're gonna have to. When I seen that on ESPN the other day, I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, wow, how does that happen? And again, you know, why haven't the people of Wisconsin invaded, you know, Minnesota?
Right. So yeah, there you go for Ponder. He's got to have Greg Jennings, Kyle Rudolph there at tight end,
Yep.
and Adrian Peterson. He should be able to work with something this year.
Yeah.
Still not deep at receiver, but I mean they're the Vikings and never will be. So that makes that interesting. And the Bears, pretty quiet.
Yeah.
The Lions, they got Reggie Bush there. That's a big move for them.
Oh yeah. And you know, and I'm sure there's going to be. Well, I don't know. There's not too many good big names in free agency, but I'm sure there's going to be a lot of, you know, as I call it, wheeling and dealing for the draft picks coming up here in a couple of weeks. I think we're about 2 or 3 weeks away from the draft.
Yeah, last weekend of April, and with this new rookie cap, like these draft picks are pretty valuable because they're cheap labor.
Yeah.
Like right now, the Chiefs get to pick any position, $24 million guaranteed contract. That's dirt cheap. So we're gonna get a starting right tackle at that price, and that's a pretty good deal.
It's third and short. If you run hard, all you need is a little bit of a lane. You see it there, able to get the first down.
But I mean, we could talk all day about this draft and rookie cap, but that could be for a future episode.
Yeah.
We got 44 seconds left of this game right here.
Oh yeah, and like I said, we'll have future shows. The show actually, Tim Most Wanted Sports Edition, or Tim Most Wanted the List Sports Edition. It was actually a radio show that Steve and I had in college, and now we're making a podcast on YouTube here on ESGNet. Here, hopefully very soon. We're gonna get into a lot of sports. We're gonna get into you know, NFL, college basketball, college football. And a lot of times we'll talk about wrestling. We're both big wrestling fans. We grew up watching wrestling. Steve knows a lot more of the old school stuff. I'm more of the current indie kind of guys. I watched a lot of Ring of Honor. So a lot of times Steve's like, "Hey, Rashad, have you heard of this guy?" I'm like, "Yeah, he's good."
Oh, I've been watching him for 5 years. Back when he was Bob Brown, he wore a mask.
So yeah, I mean, we'll have a lot of stuff, just about a lot of stuff, like especially like WrestleMania coming out and whatnot. Another close game for me and Steve, 24-17. Seahawks won the game at home, and I'm sure that 12th man's was very, very loud.
And I'm sure RG3 had like 3 torn ACLs, torn PCL, LCL, MCL, and Shanahan's like, you get out there and play.
Play, yeah. We're not done yet. Go out there and play.
Yeah, you're going to run on that field or going to run on the treadmill later. It's up to you. Dr. James Andrews, you shut up over there.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to have a lot of... You're going to have
His
a lot
name is Russell. Last name Wilson.
We're going to have a lot of fun just sitting here and talking about a lot of different things. Occasionally, I mean, if there's some kind of celebrity tied in with an athlete, we'll have some news about that.
He stepped out of bounds there.
We'll also have so many other things going on in the show. So, for me, Rashad, a.k.a. Icon02 on YouTube, and Steve, a.k.a. SvenCustoms on YouTube. Thanks for guys for listening to the radio or podcast. No. Tim Most Wanted podcast is here in the near future. See you guys next time.
And yeah, we're going to have more throwdowns, more talk, so just stay tuned. Steve with ESGNet, the CEO, the Icon Boulder.
No.
That's right, they're coming on.